And we're back. I am the Great Wen, joined by Mr. JM Hart and T. How we doing tonight, guys?
Great. Good to be here. Thank you.
If
Doing
you don't
good.
know
Nice
JM,
having you. Thanks for coming. Hey, Jason, Dave, Mike's Groovin, Shermith, Vermi Verm. Damn, the whole crew's here tonight. What's up, guys? Happy
you should
Wednesday.
be over on volume because we're reading the comments over there.
It should be on
if you
volume.
don't-
I got
if
chat
you
over
don't
there
know-
going.
If you don't know JM, he is a musician. He had Broke Down Pod, which I guess we'll talk about in a minute. It was on hiatus and part of the Osiris team over there helping Friendly Pod. You got some new music. That was my original impetus. I just wanted to catch up with you. I know sometime in September, middle of September, you have a new album coming out. So what's been going on that front?
New record album coming out in September. It's called Turned Around. It's out on the 16th of September. There's a couple singles that you can hear if you go to my YouTube or if you go to my Bandcamp, jmhart.bandcamp.com. It looks like this, the album. It's shiny, super shiny. So
it is super shiny, very reflective.
There you go. Look at that.
There you go.
Off angle. There you go. So it
Nice.
looks like that on the back. Anyways, it's coming out real soon. I'm pretty excited about it. I've got a couple friends join me for it. So got Mike Horn, who you may know as Seawind of Battery, plays on it. Ryan Jewell plays drums on it. Ryan also did the mixing and mastering, and I think it sounds pretty great. And I'm pleased with the songs, and I hope people like it. I've gotten some good response for a couple singles already.
Nice. Very nice. Mr. Bungle is over on volume, and he said Bad Religion got cut short by lightning. He's my punk rock dude. He's my guy
He's complimenting your shirt. Okay.
Yes, he likes the Circle Jerks. You know, the Circle Jerks, the story of this shirt, some guy on Twitter commented about Wook Plus once and said, who wants to watch a bunch of Circle Jerks or something? And I was like, I need a Circle Jerk shirt.
Keep Kev's mind. I need a Circle Jerks shirt.
That's cool. Oh, that's fantastic. So you put Broke Down on hiatus. Was that just too much other going on with the album and everything?
I mean, kind of, yeah. So, it's a lot to do a show like that. It's a lot, and I did it entirely by myself. HF Pod, it was a team, and we would record we'd do this kind of thing, and then just put it out. That was easier. There's a lot of homework involved in that, and so I kind of stepped away from that because I was tired of the homework. I love the show. I love those folks. I stepped away from that, and then I focused on my show and my music, and I was like, I'm just gonna put Broke Down Pod on hiatus, work on music, hang out with my family. Been traveling with my wife. Weird. And it's been great. It'll come back at some point.
Right. You hit a cool festival Dead 60 weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I went down to North Carolina to the Fly Around Festival, which is in Lansing, North Carolina, which is this tiny little crossroad of a town north of Boone. It was hit by Hurricane Helene last year, and so part of the impetus behind the festival was to kind of raise some money, help out the town. And guy who put it on, Chris Jude, he brought in all of these great bands that are favorites of mine, including Grant McGuire Flaherty is on my t-shirt right here, Liam Grant, Elkhorn, Miriam Gendron, Magic Tuber String Band, and all of these not big names but great groups, Joan Shelley, and there was a lot, and it was a perfect day of music. I have not seen a better day of music in a long time.
Nice.
And I've seen a lot of days of music, and this was one of the best. It was outstanding.
Very nice. So we always talk, T and I, about, we've been doing a festival series. Once a week, we preview a festival, and always the best ones turn out to be these little things that have some, unique perspective, I guess is the best way to put it. There was one up in Washington State that was bike riders. We thought it was motorcycles at first, but it turned out it was
mountain biking. Yeah. And it was at this up in Washington. I actually talked to one of my buddies who lives up there. He's like, "Oh yeah, that thing's pretty popular." And it's like this whole thing. I was like, "Yeah, I never heard of it, but it sounds." The cool thing about some of the smaller ones is they're very well curated, and there's usually a lot of cool, not just bands, but other things to do in them that sort of specifically target whatever, like bike riders or whatever. So that's kind of cool, and those kind of festivals can be the best ones for sure.
I am pro lazy river. A festival with a lazy river to float down is
well. The last couple we've done, just like that Giz one we were looking at, it's like right on the river. Except that some of those rivers, and even some of them have the warnings. Remember that one we read had the warning that the water's been
magic beans,
awfully high this year, and like be careful. And that's like Kevin and I were joking, we're like that's not really a lazy river. Like you get on that thing, you're gone.
It's rapids.
Like you seen Kev, yeah, he's down river, way down river.
You end up in another county. You're like, how do I get back?
Yo,
God help us.
There you go. Mike Scruven went to Mass in the Grass. Good art and great music. See, that's all you need. Great name, Mass in the Grass. Nice.
No one rides for free. No one rides for free. All right, let's jump into some of this stuff. Band called the Swans. That's your cue to.
I got it. I did it. All right, I'm ahead of you.
I know I've heard of the Swans before. I don't know much about them, but a guy, Thor Harris, who played with them, did a show at the Sultan Room on the 9th, I guess last Friday, and he posted a photo of his settlement sheet that showed he got $0 from it, and one of the lines on there was House Nut, which was $400 for sound and light, $400 for room fee, and $50 for marketing. So he only sold 46 tickets. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But, you know, how is live music even possible to go forward if bands are getting $0?
It's tough because it kind of goes both ways. Actually, Jonathan, you want to test out your mic? I guess everyone's saying.
Yeah.
There it is.
Somebody said I had the wrong mic engaged, and they're right. And I tried to engage the right mic, and it didn't work. So I went back to the wrong mic, anyways. But I will say the answer to this is there is no good answer. You know, it's expensive, and one of the big secrets that's not a secret, but people don't realize is that most artists have jobs and have to, because you can't make a living doing this work. And then you have guys like Thor Harris. I don't know if he has another job, but like he's a lifer. Like he's been doing this forever, and like it shouldn't be like this. Like maybe that room is too big for him. Maybe he didn't see the agreements. Like there's two sides to this story. It's not a great outcome either way. Like, yeah, it's not. It sucks, and it is unsustainable as it is right now. Got to be another room he could have played, maybe, or something. Because Sultan Room, from everything I've read and I've known of people who played there, is a good venue, typically known as a good venue.
Yeah.
And I don't know, who booked it, if somebody rented it to book the show, or if he went straight through it. I don't know any of that. Right. It's not clear, but yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, there's been people commenting from both sides in support of the venue and in support of him, and some in support of both. And it's one of those side whatever. But I think what it boils down to is the economic nature of it. Like it can't, regardless of who's at fault or whatever, this can't survive because there's no way forward when this is the case, no matter who's to blame. So we got to figure something out because it sucks, and more small venues and clubs go under all the time, just like we talked about with Nectars and things like that. So,
well, their margins have shrunk too. The cost of everything has gone up. You have a lot more middlemen popping up in these things with,
Well, yeah, and even in that case, like you just mentioned, it could have been rented out, and then they rented it out to them, is what somebody else said. Like there was a middle person involved in it, and that's where that charge came from. It wasn't coming directly from the venue or something. So even in that case, then there's another hand reaching into it, and it's like the state of, from a small scale to Ticketmaster and Live Nation and shit. It's just the whole industry as a whole is fucked. It's crazy. So.
Well, I would be very interested to see what the contract said, because I know a lot of musicians who you put a contract in front of them. A lot of people, probably 80% of the people in the world, aren't going to read a contract. They're going to sign it, and the large print. Oh, cool! This is what we're going to make. You don't bother to read the small print with, like Tom Waits said, "Taketh away," and that's why managers might be good. Managers might be the best middleman if they know contract law and they can see.
Yeah, but an independent band can barely sustain the individual, the individuals who play the music. They're not driving around with roadies. They certainly
eating
can't
ramen.
afford managers. They're eating ramen. They're splurging on a hotel if they're on an off night. I mean, it is hard out there, and the days of, like, the old days of, like, you're wearing a punk rock shirt, of going from punk rock house to punk rock house. Like, there's a little bit of that in some scenes, but first of all, you get to a certain age, that is really rough. And secondly, if you're not making that kind of music, you're not in that scene, you're not in those places. And I think you should be playing a bar at least, or a club, and what are you going to do?
Right. Well, you figure somebody who's, I mean, this guy isn't famous. Obviously, he isn't the biggest name in the world, but you think after all these years that there would be some kind of guarantee of some kind, on it, instead of, or play for the door. Just give me the money from the door. I know clubs hate that because then they have very little control, but.
And I think it say, I don't know if it was an article or if I read it on a different one, but it's something about, like, he didn't have any comps and no, like, drink tickets, like, given out anything. Like, he didn't give anything away either. It was all paid for too. And then at the bottom of the article I read too, it was like, so think of that next time you're asking for comps or whatever, that you should be paying the artist anyway. And now I feel so bad. Like, anytime you ask, like, like the guys, usually though, I'm working the merch table, so I don't mind as much getting in for free, but now I feel bad about that. And even taking, like, drink tickets, you're like, yeah, no, that's all right. I'll just give them to somebody else, I guess. Like, but it's a good point. Like, some things you don't think about, and that is money, I guess, you're taking out of the band's pocket.
Yeah. Pay for tickets, buy the t-shirt,
buy the merch. That's right.
Well, one of the slimiest things I know that Live Nation does is they want a percentage of your merch.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, yeah. A lot of venues do that too. That's very common.
So
that's just slimy. That's just wrong on so many levels. I spent the money to design, print. I'm hauling this stuff around with me, and you want $1 off of every $20 shirt or whatever,
Well, we gave you that nice little corner of the room and set up a table that you could put your stuff on.
Like the 8x10, they stick you in the basement by the bathrooms.
That was rough.
Oh, that's good because you need something to wipe your hands off on.
Right. Come on, look at this shirt. This is great.
Oh man, that's so crazy. They hide people down there. All right. Well, speaking of Live Nation, Portland, Maine, approved a moratorium on the 11th against 180-day moratorium on new theaters and music venues with a capacity over 2,000 seats to be built or started or whatever, permitted. And apparently this is directly into the city not wanting a Live Nation venue, wanting the independent venues that they have there already.
Good. I mean, so many of the problems that we've talked about are Live Nation things, Independent venues have their own challenges, and but they're, like, at least real people, and maybe dealing with a shady real person. But when you deal with faceless Live Nation, they're going to bring people, they're going to bring artists to that town that maybe won't come to that town otherwise, perhaps, because Live Nation has their contracts for bringing artists around. But, like, nobody needs another Live Nation venue in a town like Portland. I mean, they used to have, like, the per capita most bars per people, once upon a time. I don't know if that number still stands, but, like, that's not a town that needs a Fillmore.
Right.
And
they have a couple, don't they have, like, the State Theater or something there? Isn't that a pretty good sized venue? I mean,
Yeah, I think they're doing okay. But, somebody doesn't want to book in an independent venue. They want to book in their venue in that town.
Right. And this was going to be a 3,300 seat venue, Portland Music Hall. So, 4 hours of public comments, over 100 speakers. That's what we got to do, I guess. If we really want to put an end to, it's got to be a grassroots thing of people showing up and saying, not in my town, like people do with Walmart. There's a place in Maryland, you drive by this little town and everybody on their lawn has signs, not in my town, say no to Walmart, you know?
And the funny thing about it, Kev, is it's only a 3,300 seat venue. It's not like a stadium, you know what I mean? But even to that point, it's like they don't want it in their ecosystem and in their community, disrupting things. And then, like to your point, JM, like bringing in music that they don't necessarily want or need there anyway.
I mean, I'm not against bringing music into a town. I just think like, the scene will support it if it's wanted. We'll say that,
right?
And but also support the local scene. There's plenty of musicians in Portland who want gigs, and they're not getting them at the Live Nation Hall of collecting money.
Right. Live Nation said that they were projecting 125 events per year, 250 permanent jobs. I don't know how you get 250 permanent jobs out of a 3,300 seat place with projections of 44 million in economic impact. But why doesn't all that stuff just go to the local small, the other places in town? Why don't we split that up over them?
Because Live Nation's going to bring their exclusive artists.
Yeah.
That will, that they won't book. That's
and
how it works.
Didn't like Phil have something with Shapiro that he only played Shapiro venues basically besides Terrapin in the last few years of his life?
Pretty much. I mean, I think it was partially because he wanted to do residencies and didn't want to do a proper, a tour anymore. And with some exceptions. I mean, I don't know how many years ago it was he came to DC and played Anthem, for example, but he was basically done with that.
Right. It was interesting this summer. I don't know if you noticed this, that all the Fish venues were not Live Nation venues this summer. They purposely played a bunch of places that were not Live Nation. That's why we got Indoor in Chicago, which is owned by Dolan, who isn't much better as a human being than these others.
Right. You're not exactly
one-man Live Nation.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely, I hear you with that.
Somebody asked this in the chat, so I will say here, I did not see Fish this summer, so
neither did I.
So I had no idea they were not playing any. I mean, I knew about the venues. I listened to every show, but I did not go to any of them, so I did not know.
Yeah, it's weird how that worked out there. You said you went to the Sphere to see Dead and Company. That was this year?
Yes, I went in May, Mother's Day weekend. I decided to give my wife a break and leave her with the kids and go to Sphere instead.
Nice.
So what'd you make from me?
Was that your first time there?
It was.
What'd you make of it? What were your impressions?
Well, I mean, technologically speaking, it's a fantastic structure and event, right? The video production is beyond all reason. The audio sounds terrific. The venue itself operated quite well. Like, you can get in, get your seat, automated, like staff-free beverage purchase, because I wasn't buying beers. So it was easy. You could just scan your water, pay, get out. Easy. Everything about that was great. And the music wasn't bad, and we had a really good time. So what's to complain about?
Nice.
I might go back for the right show.
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean, you can't really like Perry Fish to the Dead. Fish blew that out of the water, but the Dead was still fun. I mean, it was still an event, and I think seeing anything there is cool. Would be cool. I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan. I wouldn't go see that, but I'm sure if Eagles fans went and saw that, they had a good time. Like, it was cool, just like the Backstreet Boys.
The Hotel California graphic looks so cool. With just
and I gotta say, Kev, everybody that's played there has extended their stays. Even the New Year's DJ person that stole all the time, like, ended up playing extra shows. So, and even the Backstreet Boys have just added another 7 shows. So, it is an experience. It does it does captivate you in a way, you know. So seeing an artist you really like there would be, you know, like
That
Fish was spectacular.
that was my recommendation to someone just the other day. He's like, "Oh, you went to Sphere? How was it?" Blah 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 blah. I told him the things I told you guys, and I said, "Look, if there's a band going to be there that you like, go."
Exactly.
Right. I want to see Iron Maiden there. I want to see
That would be a
Eddie
thing.
on the screen completely that tall.
Full animated Eddie. Yeah, in the yeah, that would be
bad.
terrifying.
Hey, it's their 50th anniversary tour this year.
You know,
apparently.
they're
Couldn't
doing
handle that shit on strong acid.
No,
man.
you couldn't handle that shit on strong acid, man. Say that all the time to my buddy. Yeah, Mr. Bungle was saying that Postcards from Earth that they did in there, which was like the Aronofsky film that showed in there, was also spectacular. I mean, they're doing the Wizard of Oz thing, which we talked about before too, which is weird.
Have you seen the screens, the shots of
Yeah.
It's at 90% AI. I mean,
It's so
totally beat
weird.
up the film.
So this is interesting though, since we're talking about last night, I went to this screening of F1 at this theater close by, and then afterwards the director did like a Q&A and stuff. But I didn't realize it when I went in, but the theater was a Screen X theater, which I'd never been in, but it has the projection of the movie on the walls, on the side walls of the theater. So it's like in front of you, and then it's on the side. So it's like Screen X. It's like this weird thing. And it's not the whole movie, it doesn't get projected on the side. It's only certain parts of it. So then after the movie, when the director was talking about it, he was saying that he actually shot some of the movie for that. Like he had learned when he did Top Gun, it's the same guy that did Top Gun Maverick a couple of years ago. And he said when he shot that, they had put cameras on the wings just to see how it like would look. And then it ended up being used for Screen X because you could fill in those sides with those angles. So he's like, when I shot F1, I knew about that and I shot it specifically for these screens, which I never even knew it was a thing. So it was cool in a way, but it was also really weird. Like it was because it's not like you're really watching things on the side because they're going. I don't know. It was a very strange experience.
Like you're in a car almost or something, and it's
yeah,
just,
kind of
Sounds
in
like
certain spots, but it was really strange.
Sounds like a weird take on the old Cinerama, which is
exactly that's
filmed with
exactly
3
right.
cameras. I saw How the West Was Won in Cinerama once in Seattle, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
like not a great movie, but super good to look at.
Gorgeously shot, though.
Format.
Yeah, gorgeously shot. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, apparently,
so
from what I hear, the Dead and Company signed a 3-year Sphere contract. So I bet we get more Dead and Company shows announced at the Sphere later this year, maybe October or something. They'll announce it. My question to you is, JM, do you think we ever get Fish there again? I don't think Fish is ever going to play again, from what Trey has said in interviews. Do you think they'll go back?
The biggest mistake anyone can make is try to predict what Fish will do. Other than New Year's Eve at MSG. And so, yeah, I think it's totally possible that Fish will go back, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't do it soon, because I think they would want to cook up some all new stuff before they'll go back.
Right. Figure out how to do 8 unique shows with some theme of 8
again,
instead of 4.
Exactly.
Right?
Instead of like, you're not going to see the dog licking the sphere again.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. You had to be there.
Or they'd have to do like a themed run, you know, like what they did in Vegas last time around Sci-Fi and did like the numbers and the animals and then the and lead into, so like each thing was sort of around that you could do. But yeah, it would have to be something unique and different and new. And I just like them to play it again because the sound is so fantastic in there. Like I was telling Kev about the Dead and Co things. I think the sound in the Sphere made up a lot of helping them a lot, because I don't know if it was just the mixes or whatever was going on at the 60th, but it didn't sound the same as the last 2 years in the Sphere. And that's just from even the audience tapes and stuff that you heard from the Sphere sounded so much better. So I feel like that place is very forgiving in certain ways. And I mean, the sound in there as an audience is just spectacular. So,
you know, it's got to be really weird to come from just playing in Sphere to playing on a proper stage, because now there's stage volume again.
Right.
So,
well, that's beautiful that Mike moved his amps off stage after playing the Sphere. I think that's helped. I think that was a move towards what they have going on now. The realignment this summer of the original 4 in a line, I think, has helped a lot. It's been almost, this just dawned on me, it's been a year since Mondegreen started, which is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, how about that? Look, I
Yeah.
mean, whatever Fish is doing, changing everything, and there's been a lot. Trey's gone back to basically an old school rig, at least, behind his pedals and everything, his
Yeah.
amps and his speakers. Like, keep doing that. It's working for them.
Yeah, they look like were having so much fun. I mean, T and I watched every show. Neither one of us went to any, but just all smiles all around. Mike even looked like he was having a good time, like 50%, even 60% of the time he had a smile.
So he stopped looking dour.
Yeah, completely. And he commented twice. Once in Austin about how good the first part of the tour had been for him, and then afterwards how like he didn't feel tired and felt so energetic and revived after the tour.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You're like, who is this guy? What's happening?
He felt like he was outside looking in. He was on the other side of Fishman. He's like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, right. He wasn't on the end anymore.
Playing with the vacuum part of the group and again. Stuff. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
Right. Thank you, Jason. Every show, Kev. He definitely wasn't there for one of the after shows, we know.
Hey man, those after shows, they run late.
They do.
Later for some people than others.
And like Graham Lash, I had a family something pop up, so
these things will happen.
So Trey is back at the Beacon. This is I'm excited for this. We did a Beacon show recaps way back then, but I really love this that he's bringing the strings. And I said this to T yesterday. I'm thinking this is a dry run for the all new Trey Anastasio review, where he's going to come out, play a couple acoustic songs, some trios, some quartet, have the strings come out, have the octet, and like an evening, 3.5 hours of every Trey incarnation.
I mean, I think it's spectacular. Like Jerry on Broadway. Like, let's just, do it.
Totally.
Early show, late show, the whole works.
Absolutely love it.
That is totally what he needs to do. He does need to add in an early show. Man, for as much as that guy likes to play, I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. Beacon's perfect place for it.
Totally. Doing double headers. Oh, definitely.
But I guess we're going to get Tansky back. Trey's second favorite piano player, keyboard player. Yeah. Maybe his first. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes. Katie Kresick.
Can I ask a question about Tansky and Trey and Dead 60? So Trey did Mission in the Rain at Dead 60, and he did a pretty stripped down, I would say, arrangement for it. He didn't. Is he going to ask Tansky to write him some damn horn charts for that? Because how amazing would that be with proper horn charts? Yeah. Like the backing vocals were real nice. They can still do that, but like, how about some horns to build up that end? Like that could just be amazing. I'm asking Trey, please, for the Beacon.
Well, Trey said after the Fare Thee Well, when he was learning all those songs, it was Tansky who came over and worked with him,
right?
And Russo who came and helped him learn the catalog. So Tansky is, the guy's brilliant. I really like Trey's working relationship with him, and I wish there was a Trey Tansky album. You know how they did the Trey Page albums? I think that would be fascinating. Maybe an all instrumental, because we're pushing the all instrumental Fish album that needs to come out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I was going to ask you, Kev, the other day when we were talking about the Beacon, if you thought Mission would come into play more, or if that was just a one-off for Jerry and the birthday and like the celebration, like all that stuff, or if you think it might move into rotation in tab.
I think if Trey learned the song, right, bothered to learn it, it'll show up at least one more time at the Beacon. But I don't think it's going to become part of the every 5-6 shows.
But like a bust out maybe once a year or once in a while. He might
special occasion.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Fantastic
yeah, I agree.
Voice. Yeah. Just a master stroke on Trey's part. I don't know if someone suggested that to him or whatever, but it really, I was completely surprised by that. And then listening to it, this, like you said, the little strip down the way it was perfect for him. It fit his voice. It fit what the band did.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So Divided Sky again is going to get the money. If you remember, Trey reading comments. It'll be weird that he has an audience this time, but the Trey reading comments from the Beacon run back in 2020 was so fantastic. He loved it. He loved interacting with everyone.
I hope they do a video intro again, just to like a conclusion or like a sequel or like another, like just to tie it all in together, because that was too funny. That was so great. I love that.
Well, I mean, we've got 28 years later came out recently.
Right.
So maybe we'll have Trey 5 years later.
Right.
Do they still have that? Like, I know that they piloted the sound system, the Sphere type sound system.
Oh yeah.
A few years ago. It was permanent install. Do we know?
I believe so.
Because
I thought so. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, because I remember reading that again too. So yeah, I believe it is. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Just an additional layer for people to look forward to if they got through the bots and got the tickets.
Yeah.
Tickets went on sale today, and apparently there was people not getting tickets, but that place is tiny. And it's Thanksgiving weekend. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving. Everyone's home.
I mean, it's going to be a hard ticket no matter what, but then everything's a hard ticket, so compound it with being an even harder ticket, and it's like up there with good luck. If you really want to go, it's going to cost secondary, which sucks.
Yeah, just do the donate in the contest, and I'm sure you'll win.
Donate in the contest anyway, and yes, figure you'll win. You'll win.
Maybe you'll win.
Maybe you'll win.
Good cause, at least.
Good cause, at least, right? You're winning just by donating. See?
Yeah.
That's the way these things happen. It's definitely true. All right, let's do some roundup things. I don't know if you guys have all seen this, but I'm going to throw a few stories out, JM, and then we'll see where it takes
how much
us.
I can keep up.
Right, the Graham Lesh thing. Graham Lesh, I mean, hot off that Heart of the Town thing, maybe better musically than the actual event itself that was up the street that weekend. He's like, boom, I'm going on tour. Graham Lesh and Friends, Midnight North is kind of put to the side. Terrapin Family Band put to the side. And then he can't make it. And it's going to be Jackie Green and Friends at the Anthem and I believe one other show on the East Coast. The Hamilton is where he was going to play, not the Anthem. In DC, and it's Jackie Green, and it said it was a family thing. And I guess I just want to say, God help them, whatever's going on. He's had enough. He's had a rough enough past year anyway. So.
That's it.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, all the best to Graham and the family.
Whatever. Yeah.
Now, did you get to see any of the Heart of Town stuff, Jam?
I didn't. I mean, I was in the mountains.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were I didn't know if you were a Nugs guy and went back and checked some of it out or anything.
I've thought about it, but I've been just kind of occupied.
Right. Stephen Stills looked good, man. Dare I say he was sober and probably the best I've heard him sound in years out there. Weird thing, they picked Teach Your Children, which is obviously a Graham Nash song, is one of the songs they did. And then he played on Althea. They chose that as one of the ones for him to do, which is
did he shred on it? Come on.
Yes, it almost sounded like he went into Carry On. I swear to God, they could have dropped the dime and just gone right into Carry On.
They should have, completely. So see, chat coming through. The sound is the same, as the Sphere at the Beacon. Thanks, radio, and the incredible.
Thank you guys.
Hollow Plot. I want to hear it. I really do want to hear it.
In there. I bet in there it's got to be cool because it's such a smaller.
Well, you guys have heard it at the Sphere. I mean,
right, but in that, But now you're in a smaller.
The scale is so different.
Right. Yeah,
it's like inconceivably different.
Inconceivably different. Completely.
I would be cool if they made mini spheres.
They do. They have them. There's one actually here in Burbank. Yeah, that they practice stuff in and do the graphics. Okay. And that's where Mayor did a lot of the graphics before going out there. And they do a lot of like the lights and stuff in there before they go to the big one. But yeah, they should run it as a venue. Like that would be cool. Like a smaller version of it. You
probably could actually make some money. I mean, it cost billions to build that Sphere. And I wonder if they're even in the red,
how long it'll take.
They're going to be living in the red.
Yeah.
For a long time. They're going to be selling a lot of $9 waters to get out of that red.
Yeah, that's the shitty thing. Like, I don't mind seeing Jimmy Dolan have to suffer a little bit, but then he passes the suffering on to us to pay for $18 beers and shit. And you're like, oh man, I hate that guy even more.
The best way to
why I
stop
don't
that
drink
is to
beers and
just
shows.
nobody buy the $18 beers.
Well,
And
yeah.
I bet within a year, all of a sudden the beers will be $13.
But Kev, that's like telling
Crazy.
people not to buy tickets from Ticketmaster because, like, if we all just strike, then it'll, like, you can't. People like no, you can't.
Why don't we just
That's
declare
all-
general strike and stop buying anything for any?
There you go.
Like
Right
there
across
you
the
go.
board. Right.
Solved.
It's all general strike on everything. Done. Shut it down.
Everything. So you mentioned something to me about Taylor Swift. If you asked me if you had to bone up on Taylor Swift, and apparently she's back in the news. She's grabbed
That's
the
why I
spotlight
asked.
again.
Yeah.
I don't. She's putting out a new album. Is that the thing? I
Yeah.
tried looking it up, and all I could see was her and her boyfriend. She was on the boyfriend's podcast, and I was like, if that's the breaking news that's shattering the internet.
That's where she announced it on Kev. Was her like the Kelsey brothers podcast. So she came on and did it and like revealed it. But then like if you go and start watching, well, actually, if you just scroll Instagram or TikToks or anything, like there's all these breakdowns of it, and everything in the background is like a clue to stuff. Like all the books mean something and like have tie into things, and like the time on the clock during the concert was like 8, I don't know, 2, whatever, and it was the date that she announced. Like, there's it's layers, Kev. There's layers.
Fans are conspiracy theorists. You have no idea what the Swifties are like. But if you go to Google right now and search for Taylor Swift, it will put like orange glitter down on your screen, and and you know
That's
what?
weird.
That's fine. I'm here for it. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but I'm here for it, and I celebrate fandoms.
Exactly.
People should have a great time, and everybody's excited about it. And people who aren't excited about it, hopefully they're excited about something.
Right.
Yeah.
We throw some blame onto Taylor Swift and Beyonce and people sometimes about people paying $400 for one Taylor Swift ticket means they aren't going to any other concerts for the year. It's like she sucks up everybody's money in one fell swoop.
There were also people who were going to multiple Taylor Swift shows. I mean, good for them. Like, you know,
her 2 songs changed every night. She did 2 different songs every night, so that's like $800 a song.
It's not a choice that I would make, but like, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, and all those people traveled to Europe because it was cheaper to go see her in Europe, to fly to Europe and get a ticket and see her than it was to like get a secondary ticket here. So like last tour. So, I mean, that's amazing. I agree with you though. I love fandom, no matter if it's sports, music, whatever. And if that's your kink, go for it. Like, I don't care. Like, that's awesome. And yeah, I'd love to see her live at some point because everybody says it's such a great show. So I'd love to be able to actually go. So
where is she at the Sphere?
I would see it. It's spectacle. Right. Like, I like spectacle.
She could do like 5-6 months at the Sphere. She could probably sell it out for a whole year.
She could do like a year. Are you kidding? She could do like a full year residency and still have people clamoring for more.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. That would be cool.
Well, especially as she would keep writing stuff. It's not like Dead & Co. or the Eagles or Backstreet Boys who are just playing the old stuff. She's still writing, so she would be producing.
Who's the country guy who plays with the Eagles now? I'm totally drawing a blank on his name, but the guy who does Glenn Fry's part was like some country star.
I have no idea.
That they were
talking about, Kev, you're talking about 2 things I could care less about: country music and the Eagles. Like, just no. Sorry.
Vince Gill,
there you go. See the chat. The chat comes through though. The chat comes through.
Vince Gill, there you go. Thank you, Daniel.
There you go.
He's a legit cat.
It's fantastic.
So that's why we love him. Vince Gill on Bluegrass Records around here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Auctions are big these days. People auctioning off stuff. Eddie Van Halen's guitar, the guitar, you know the one we're talking about, went up for sale. It's a 1982 Kramer Electric that he stylized himself. I guess he gave it to his roadie, and the roadie auctioned it off, and it's final sale in the range of $2 to $3 million.
Well, the roadie sold it to McMars.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then McMars played it on records.
Dr.
So-
Feelgood.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like, not only is this like reasonably coveted Eddie Van Halen guitar, like the Eddie Van Halen guitar, but then it's on Dr. Feelgood. So if you're like, again, fandoms, right? If you're the 80s metal guy, and like I listened to that stuff in the 80s, I'm
I
not
love it.
hardcore guy. I'm not buying the $1 million guitar, but you know, it's that's pretty rad. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe the guy from Grateful Guitars would buy it, Andy Logan, because he does such
Andy
a good
Logan's
job
good
when he
cat.
buys them, like giving them to people to keep playing. Because I feel like there's still life in that guitar, maybe. So like, it'd be cool to see somebody pass it around, like let guys play it again, like he does with the Alligator and stuff. So I don't know, that'd be kind of
He
cool.
had those
It would be
guitars
interesting.
out the other weekend.
Yeah,
Have you
Oh,
guys
God.
had Andy Logan on the show? He is a
We want
really
to.
good guy, really nice guy.
Yeah,
I had him on Breakdown Pod a while
we've
back.
tried to reach out to
He is
him.
on that.
Yeah, we tried to reach out. I'm giving it over to Kev because Kev's the master at getting people. But yeah, I got to meet him when he let Dave Harrington play Alligator for the Tabor's Choice show up at the Ivy Room, and
You got
So,
you got to hold
I
it.
got to hold it. I got to play with it a little too. Like that
got to
was
hold
a
it.
moment. Like yeah, that was a
So
moment.
I talked to both of them right around that time. So I actually talked to them like right after that show. Both
Nice.
guys, Andy and Dave, for Breakdown Pod. And yeah, Andy's super swell guy. And
He's
yeah, it was
incredible.
cool. And he's got an amazing collection.
Yeah, yeah.
Like beyond what you might have seen at a show. Like he's got this room full of amazing guitars.
He's like it's pretty spectacular.
But he's a great guy.
Talking to him was fascinating because he was like the opposite of most collectors. He's like, I want it out there. I want to see guys playing it. Like it should be played. It needs to be played. And you're like, wow, somebody that totally gets it. That's so cool. Like
Right,
on.
didn't Ursay buy Tiger and it sat in his office in a glass case?
Yeah, a lot of them. All like most of his.
Yeah, he's got
collection.
like Gilmer guitars and all kinds of stuff. I feel like he's
Hopefully
got
his kids need
collection
drugs and sell them.
I feel bad laughing at that.
I know. That's Kev. Kev's
Hopefully
filter.
they decide to put the guitars into circulation so they can be played.
We all know how it is.
Whatever their motivation.
I wrote a poem in high school about inheriting everything from my parents and selling it for drugs. So some of the other stuff in this auction is interesting too. Bob Dylan's handwritten lyrics for Subterranean Homesick Blues, they think will go for about $500,000. The original cover art for It's Only Rock and Roll by the Stones, they think is like 150. And one cymbal that Ringo played on Please Please Me is looking at 150.
Did he hit it?
That's the most ridiculous thing. The symbol.
But as far as fandom goes, the Beatles are up there. People are just,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Elvis level. With
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah, people do be liking them Beatles. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. Are you more a Stones or a Beatles guy?
I'm a Beatles guy. Like I have all the old early Stones records, but I'm a Beatles guy. I like the Stones when they started writing into the early 70s, but I will stand on your coffee table and shout about how Emotional Rescue is a shitty record. So right. I'm not that kind of Stones fan.
I tell you what, the leftover track, what was it, Tops or Heaven? One of the two of them was left over from those sessions and came out on Tattoo You, and it's probably the best song that was recorded for those sessions, even though it came out 2 years later.
Yeah.
Tattoo You was such an enigma to me that it was pieced together. They just had to get an album out. Start Me Up was written in '74 originally, and for me, it's one of their most cohesive albums. Right. The second side of that album is my favorite Stone side straight through, with Waiting for a Friend, Heaven, Tops.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that I'm more early 70s, probably.
Right.
So
I wonder how much it has to do with the MTV part of it. Because I was glued to MTV for years on end back in the early 80s, and that's when the Waiting for a Friend and Neighbors videos came out and start me up. And right,
you're not that much older than me, Kev. I was watching all those things too, but Let It Bleed is still a far superior album than anything in the 80s. So that's where I live.
Better cover too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not quite Sticky Fingers, but I mean, they had some great albums. Come on, like album covers, and come on, Sticky Fingers.
Yeah, and that almost It's Only Rock and Roll cover for the painting is in that auction. That's pretty cool painting. I would hang that on my wall.
Have you ever seen?
Wasn't there to vote.
Have you ever seen the alternate cover for that album?
No,
probably.
Yeah, probably, but I don't remember.
You should Google the alternate cover for that album. It has them dressed as Nazis with a bunch of little girls standing around them. I mean, it is bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
Perfect.
Maybe we shouldn't Google that.
Maybe we should, right?
Perfect.
Strange not at work.
I used to have a huge coffee table book that was like album size cover, and it was all just Rolling Stones art and different things. And they had it in there as the centerfold of this thing. God help them.
There you go.
Are you Hall & Oates fans? You guys Hall & Oates fans?
You know, it's funny that you bring this article up, Kev, because he actually is playing the Troubadour next week or in 2 weeks.
Hall or Oates?
Oates.
Yeah, that was my question.
Oates is playing the Troubadour with his band, and it's like he's playing, I think, off his new album, some classic R&B hits, and then a few surprises, is what he says. So now the settlement's over. He can probably play the songs.
He'll do She's Gone, because he sings lead on the original She's Gone on what was that album? Abandoned Luncheonette. Fantastic album. Probably the best. The Stewardess song is one there about hooking up with the stewardess. So you alluded to it. They've had an ongoing legal battle, and I guess one of them wanted to sell the catalog and the other didn't. Oates wanted to sell the catalog.
Oates wanted to sell. Well, so look, there's been this whole thing. Lots of big catalog artists selling their catalogs for cashing out, because this company is going to be able to make money off of it long after Oates is not selling any oats, if you know what I mean. And so he was like, well, give me the big check. And I get that. But I also get Daryl Hall not wanting to be a partner with whatever that company is.
Wave IP Investment Management.
It's called Primary Wave. It's Primary Wave, and they own like Stevie Nicks, the Biggie Smalls estate, Fleetwood Mac's guitarist Peter Green. Like they have a bunch of, like you were saying, Jonathan, like a bunch of catalogs already. So he was in the mind of like selling it, and Hall was like, nothing is more of a betrayal than like selling my music. Like had this dramatic, So it was a big
dramatic, but I get it.
But yeah, I mean, it's a difference of opinion for sure. But he was very dramatic in the way it came out with saying it. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's your songs too. But yeah. So they finally settled, but nobody knows the settlement because it was.
But he can go through with the sale. Sale. They probably made it so that Hall had complete control. He could veto a commercial or something like that. Maybe is what it worked out to be. So
until we're both dead.
Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see that the Guess Who, Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings, are getting back together to do a show next year, and they're planning on doing a few more. Hopefully, they come into the United States. But I found out years ago, back in 83, 84, I was 12, whatever. The Guess Who was playing in Delaware. Right. And we were in Ocean City. So we drove up to this bar to see the Guess Who. And I was like, I'm going to see the Guess Who. And it's the night I learned about 2-drink minimums, because you had to buy a ticket and then there was a 2-drink minimum. I was like, I'm 12. What am I drinking? I got my mom to drive me up there. Turns out the bass player owned the name. Only original member. So, and they did a bunch of covers. They were like a 60s covers band that did a few Guess Who songs. So apparently Burton and Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman made it so nobody could play Guess Who songs, even them, in order to stop this guy. And like totally turned it off, and you could not play a Guess Who song or anything. And I'm like, that's kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face. But now they're back. I guess they lifted that moratorium, and I'm really thinking of sneaking into Canada to go
Randy
see this.
Bachman is 81.
I know. And I mean, the Canned Weed album, I absolutely just love that album to no end. My first show, I got to see Fishman sing Undone, which is actually not that bad because Paige sings the other part. Paige is singing Burton Cummings' part. So it's this really nice vocal to go along with Fishman murdering Randy Bachman's part.
John Fishman is a vocal stylist, the likes of which we have never before seen and will never see again. So you just watch it, buddy.
Luckily.
Well, the weirdest thing for me, let's talk a little bit about Fishman. Back in, the early 90s, you go see Fish, you almost always got a Fishman tune. And it kind of got to the point where you're like, I'd like to see a second set that isn't broken up at the end by having a Fishman tune, because it was usually in the fourth quarter. And then I was given that at some point in the mid 90s through to today. And I'm like, I wish we could go back and have a Fishman song. At least every fourth show, this show, maybe. Come on.
And even some of them were like, I know we were talking about that. I miss like Lonesome Cowboy Bill and like some of the ones he would play, like Ventilator Blue, like some of the ones that he actually like were fun and played on that were good that I definitely miss. Like you could do without some of the I Want to Be Like You and like some of the, like with Hold Your Head Up in Between.
If I only had a brain.
I mean, they'd be fun now to hear again. Yes. Cause you haven't heard them in forever and it'd be fun to like rehash it. But I agree, Kev. Like it's, and he would run around the stage. Exactly, Mike.
I mean, a whole tour he could do, like just even if he picked 4 songs, Purple Rain, Cracklin' Rose,
right,
Lonesome Cowboy, and over 16 shows, you could get 4 Fishman songs.
I am all for Fishman songs every night, once a run. If we're doing 3-night runs, at least give me one.
Right.
No limits. I want them all. I want Purple Rain to come back. I want Bike, I want Love You. I want every damn thing. I want them to like intro him with Cold as Ice one time. I want all of that stuff.
Bring back Cold as Ice.
I miss, and I've talked about this on HF Pod before, so apologies. It's like I miss the going out of the way to have a laugh on stage, because this is awesome now. It's true. But there's room in that awesome for having a good time and having a laugh and please and thank you.
I'm absolutely with you. I got to see a Terrapin in 2019 in Pittsburgh, which was cool because someone held up a sign that said "We really love you" or something, and
I was right there behind the stage watching.
Oh, were you? Very nice, very nice. Yes, I had a moment that night. I was like, this is Fish, and they're talking to me and telling me about my life.
Nobody else reaches out.
That's the night I fell in love with a song I heard the ocean sing. I was like, this song's about mermaids. It like all came to me, and I was like, this is so cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a pretty fun show, actually. I will say.
I would say it was the best of the 6. I would say it was the best of the tour. But people would tell me I was wrong.
There's always somebody out there to tell you were wrong.
They often do.
Always. Are you ready for this, T? You ready to run the intro?
Oh, man. Are you ready for it? All right. Let me find it. I got to find it. Hang on. All right. Yep. You ready? Here we go.
Yep.
It's time.
The Neil Young Minute. All right, we're back with the Neil Young Minute. Neil Young, fresh from Europe, last week, opened his U.S. tour with the Chrome Hearts in Charlotte, North Carolina on the 8th, and busted out a couple tunes he hasn't played before. One of These Days off of Harvest Moon, which has been played by the Chrome Hearts last. I just had a fly on my eye. God damn it. last September.
Nothing more punk rock than that, Kev.
Yeah, there's nothing more punk rock than that. There's got to be a hole in the damn screen I opened for the cats or something.
Stick the cat on them.
Yeah, where are you, cat? And then in the 10th slot of the set list, New Mama, which was from Tonight's the Night, about his the birth of his son Zeke. And then I guess he did one other show since then. On what, the 10th in Richmond, which you said your buddy went and had a glowing
yeah, friend of mine. I probably several friends of mine, but one friend in particular I spoke to just yesterday said that yeah, it was great, and she hadn't seen Neil in a very long time, and she said he can still jam, and I said yes, he can.
You know,
yes, he can.
It's interesting. We talked about this before we came on, that the Crazy Horse tour fell apart last summer, but it seems like the Chrome Hearts have it together. Maybe it's the younger guys in the band. Maybe it isn't just, I don't know, playing as loud as Crazy Horse. Maybe it just sets your system off. Your biles are out of, you know.
I don't know, man. I feel like my spine was never so straight as when I walked out of the Crazy Horse show I saw last year. I was like, yes. I was invigorated.
That's awesome.
Man. So, and Neil Young is playing again tonight in Clarkston, Michigan. If you're around on Friday night, go to Cayuga Falls in Ohio to check him out. Nice. And that is your Neil Young Minute. The Neil Young Minute. We are looking for a sponsor, and we can make that say the Neil Young Minute brought to you by PV Guitars or whatever. So, if you know,
we don't need a timer, Jason. Just like everything on this show, nothing is like true to it. Like, come on, you know, it's not actually the Neil Young Minute.
Yeah, because usually they're like 15 seconds.
Yeah, usually under a minute.
That far. There's not enough. I mean, Neil's, you know, Neil does stuff. We come up with something every week.
Well, you managed to, yeah, that's the whole reason we started doing it, because Neil always does stuff. So
he's always got something to say. It's so weird that he's married to Hannah.
Daryl Hannah, yeah. Speaking of mermaid, Flash, yeah, exactly. Full circle.
There you go. You know, that was the first time I ever saw a song I heard the ocean sing was at that Pittsburgh show. Kept missing it forever. Crazy.
Really?
I tell you what, forever I missed If I Could. And then I finally caught it at Merriweather the last time they played Merriweather.
Nice.
But it was always the show before, show after I went to, and I'm like, do you not like me? What's
you don't want to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, exactly. We're convinced Trey watches. So, or Trey knows watches. He doesn't actually want to hear us. He gets notes.
He's got people.
Exactly, Kev. That you'll ruin the spirit of Neil if we get the sponsor.
Right, yeah.
Unless it's brought to you by something earthy.
What's Neil Young's record label? Maybe I can get the record label to do it.
Get Neil Young to sponsor it. Neil
Young to sponsor it.
Sponsored by Shaky Pictures.
It's fantastic. So Friday, if you're an all access member over on Volume, we got an exclusive interview with Kierkos in the morning. It will eventually come out on YouTube and other places, but that, and also next week we're bringing back Wook Club. And if you are an all access member over on Volume, shoot us a message on Discord or through Volume or whatever, and let us know that you want to come on and say something about the show. We are going to be going over what show, T?
8/20/93, Fish's first Red Rock show. So it's the 32nd anniversary of it, because we missed the 30th and then we forgot to do it again last year. So we're doing it for the 32nd anniversary, and we're doing it on 8/19/25, so one day before the actual 32nd anniversary.
You know, in 2020 we were making a movie, and it's gone from a movie to doing the Wook Club. We're just doing
Wook Club. There'll still be a documentary on Fish at Red Rocks, but yes,
I think you should, because you're a day early, you should just celebrate the 30th anniversary almost 2 years late.
There you go. I like it. No, I'm renaming it. That's what I'm posting tomorrow when I post it now. Thank you, because that's much more in line with our vision of things. Thank you for that.
There it is. And you know, the cool thing, you listen over on Volume, we're actually going to be able to play little clips of some of the solos and different parts of the show, because there's no
copyrights, so we can do it over there. So
but fair use is fair use over there, whereas
That's
in
it.
YouTube, fair use is a 6 month protracted email battle.
That's right. So
Sure.
yeah, if you listen to it and you want to talk about any particular part of it, we can actually re-listen to it and then talk about that part on air live when we do it. So check it out. But Kev and I will definitely be doing Wook Club because we were both at that show. It was my first show and Kev was there. So it'll be a lot of fun to rehash it all.
It will.
It
Awesome.
will.
The rain stopped.
Good stuff, Kev. What else we got? And next Wednesday we got Live Again. A week from
Yes,
tonight.
next Wednesday, Live. We'll have a festival preview coming up. A lot of other good stuff. We actually this week we've already interviewed Gary Waldman, who is Neil Casal's manager. They have a new set out of demos and pictures. We also talked with Bob Minkin this week, and we talked with Brian Murray today from Dogs in a Pile. So we have 3 big interviews coming up that will debut on Volume and may migrate over to YouTube. So make sure you go over there, and for free you can just join the community. We're trying to build one.
That was so much fun talking about his new Phil book that he's got coming out, or that's out now, I guess. It kind of completes his trilogy of Jerry, Bobby, and now Phil. And the Phil one's a little bit thicker. He had a little bit more time with Phil and things like that. So it's cool. It's very cool. And it was a great interview.
He said he lives 6 miles from Terrapin. So he was there a lot.
He was there a lot. He was there a lot. So yeah, and yes, Jason, Divided Sky opener because it poured rain before that show, and we didn't know.
We thought it was getting moved,
it,
right?
Yeah, McNichols, and they kept it. And then the best part was you got Harpua in the 2 slot, which was a lot of fun. So I can't wait.
And a great story, a really good Harpua story that didn't seem forced because you could look up and see the iguana.
And see the lizard in the mountain. It was great. It was great. All right, Kev, let me find the outro here. And where is it?
We'll see you, JM. Jonathan,
thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
This was a lot of fun, man. You're welcome back anytime. It's always a good time talking to you.
In the meantime, can people just go to jmhart.bandcamp.com and they can pre-order the album, listen to a couple singles. There's another single that's going to come out next week. I'll have a video and everything. I've been on a run making bad videos for my songs. So, please check them out.
They're called visualizers. When you do it yourself, it's called a visualizer. We'll put a link down in the show notes so everybody can go over and find that.
That's awesome. I like the videos for sure. We'll check those out. Right on, man. Thanks. Always
thank you guys for watching.
And as always, thanks, chat. You guys rule. We'll see y'all later. See ya. You know, Mr. Bungle brought up a good point in the other chat. He's a big Olivia Rodrigo fan, speaking of Taylor Swift stuff, and I have to agree with him. I watched that set from Lollapalooza, and she fucking rocks, man. I would see an Olivia Rodrigo show.
Has she priced me out of the market yet?
I don't think so. I think you could probably still get in there. I think one of the new drink words is volume. So volume, drink, volume.
Well, there you go. It would be cool if Michael went over there. Dude,